Currently second place in the division, 6th in the AFC playoff race, 4 divisional games remaining over the final 6 games, and head coach Liam Cohen knows what's at stake.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for us. This is why you play. This is, you get into these parts of the season, everybody's nicked up, everybody's a little bumped and bruised, but it comes down to taking advantage of these opportunities and making the most of them and having that heightened sense of urgency as we get into later November, December games, specifically as we get into these divisional ball games, that how important these are.
Yeah, we'll find out. This is the stretch run. You play up to Thanksgiving to get in the run after Thanksgiving. And guess what? We're after Thanksgiving. Here it is, Austen.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is really, it starts to feel like football. The weather gets a little cooler, right? And obviously you're playing meaningful games now. And, we talked about it when the season started. You had the front half was loaded with, tough teams and everything. The back half, not so much. But it's going to be really indicative now that, once again, I can't reiterate this enough, you can't play down to the level of your competition.
Well, let me ask you about that, because they know what's coming next week. They're not stupid. They know the Colts are coming here. And if they win today, or if the Colts lose, or a combination of the two, they're playing for first place next week. So as a professional athlete, you only get so many cracks at it, Austen, but it seems like natural human nature, you might look beyond an opponent with one win on their record.
No, I mean, without a doubt. How can you not look at the record and be like, okay, we have this game easily, but you can't think like that. I think Liam Cohen, in terms of the emotion that he brings to that locker room, I don't think he's going to let his guys think like that, because not only are you in competition with the Colts, but you also have the Texans nipping at your heels as well. So, I mean, it's every single game, especially in the division, it matters.
God, they could have put the Texans away, too. They had them right
Just
where they
about,
wanted them.
yeah.
And didn't do it. And here we are with everybody within a game of each other.
But so what? Win your games, and the Texans cannot catch you, right? I mean, they may make the playoffs on their own, and you can't control that at this point. But, I mean, this is you got 2 games with Tennessee and a game with the Jets, a couple with Indy. I mean, you control everything that happens to you from this point on.
No doubt about that. And the Jaguars offense starting to build a little bit of chemistry between the quarterback and newly acquired receiver Jacoby Myers. They're going to need it down the stretch.
It's come along quicker than I would have thought. Sometimes that takes time with different receivers to try to get that chemistry and the timing and all that stuff, and it's been pretty seamless with him. I think obviously his experience is really important. He's played a lot of football. He's kind of done it all as far as the different offenses, systems. He's played a lot of different positions. So him understanding different schemes and different concepts and what he's being asked to do also helps, because he can get up to speed really fast and he communicates really well. So we talk a lot during practice to try to get more and more familiar, just because you don't have the off-season reps and all that stuff banked, but it's been awesome.
Jacoby Myers in 3 games so far, 15 targets, 12 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown last week.
And a comment this week that kind of flies in the face of a lot of what we hear about Trevor Lawrence. Aditi Kinkhabwala reported that Myers said that he could catch Trevor's passes, Austen, with his eyes closed, because they're that perfectly placed. That kind of flies in the face of the narrative of a quarterback who's not on point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks volumes. And this is what this wide receiver room was missing, was a veteran calming presence. You had that with Tim Patrick a little bit, but how much is Tim Patrick on the field? So when they get Jacoby Myers, and credit to James Gladstone for going after him when you didn't have to, you get Jacoby Myers in here, and it just feels like Trevor's a little more calm, a little more confident. And obviously when you have a guy that can catch anything thrown his way, it's going to make a big difference. Now, just got to limit the interceptions a little bit, though, as well.
No doubt.
Yeah. 4 giveaways last week, 3 interceptions, but 3 touchdowns. The full Trevor Lawrence experience a week ago. Brenton Strange experience a week ago as well. The tight end was back. He had 5 catches and posted a career-best 93 receiving yards. Good to find a rhythm early on the offensive side.
Yeah, I think rhythm's very important for offense. Rhythm, momentum, anything that you can do to keep moving the ball down the field. It was important for me because I feel like every time that I'm able to, just touch the ball early in the games, it just sets my mindset for the game to be aggressive, and that's in whatever I do, pass game, run game, whatever it is. So I'm just thankful that the coaches called it out and we executed it, because, everybody's got to execute for one person to get the ball.
That's Brenton Strange, Jaguars tight end, brings a different level of physicality in the run game, and speaking of reliability in the passing game, he caught every target last week.
Yeah, and it was kind of a great thing to see that 12 personnel back out there. 2 tight ends on the field at the same time, man. It almost brought a tear to my eye. And they're going to rely on Brenton Strange a lot, not only in the pass game, but also in the run game. Because if you look at Tennessee and where they're decent at, it's Jeffrey Simmons. It's in the middle of the field. The Jaguars can specialize in running outside zones, split zones. That's going to rely on Brenton Strange a lot. So I expect to see a lot of outside runs today because you don't want to run down the middle with Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, not only him, Tavondre Sweat goes listed at 366 in the middle of that defensive line, too. So that's a lot of beef up there. And look, we talked about it, I think, on the postgame last week. If the Cincinnati game is officiated properly down the stretch, they haven't lost a game that Brenton Strange has played in this year. That's how important he is to this team. He's not the sole reason for that, but big time in the receiving department, and obviously, as you were just laying out, what he does in the run game is terrific.
This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Austen Lane ahead of the Jaguars and the Titans. We move now to the Jaguars defense, and linebacker Foye Oluokun surpassed 1,000 career tackles in last week's win. In the locker room this week, it comes with perspective.
It was kind of full circle of watching Yale win their Ivy League championship. Like, that's the kind of environment I was playing not too long ago, and then just always taking the next step. I feel like always just trying to make my mark, just be consistent and be reliable for my teammates and stuff. And then, 8 years later, you look up and you have 1,000. And I remember looking back, like even my 5th year, I was like, ooh, that might be an achievable thing for me. And I had no clue it would come up so fast. So really crazy. I have more to say about when I'm done playing, but in the moment, I just want to keep winning games, how we're doing here this year, being productive and playing my style of football that I like doing. Like, it's just a testament to me being around the ball, and it's kind of like validation that, I'm doing good things in this league for sure.
Yeah, Foye Oluokun, of course, league leader in tackles for a number of years in his career, and kind of a settling presence on that second level.
Yeah, I'm curious, as a former linebacker yourself, what have you seen from Foye this year, Austin, and like what kind of level is he playing at compared to what he's done so far here in Jacksonville?
I think when we talk about the level that he's playing at, first of all, going to the, what JP said, like the calming presence, like this is the guy that's suited to get everybody else in line, right? And especially with this defense that Coach Camp brings out, there can be some intricacies that can be kind of confusing. So I think he's been that calming presence. Now, his play on the field, I think it's been a lot of ups, but a couple downs as well. He's had a couple games where had problems kind of filling in the gap and everything, making those tackles, stopping the run. But overall, I think the combination of him and then getting Lloyd back has only helped him out a lot.
Let's move to the secondary now, and safety Eric Murray's 21-day practice window open this week to try to come off IR. He won't make it into the game today. He is ruled out. However, what he expects when he does get back?
Just doing the things I was doing before, making sure I detail every outcome that I can go through during the game, and now most importantly, making sure I'm in the right health to do that and be full speed.
So that's Eric Murray out today. Jordan Lewis is back today, and that's a good sign on the other side for the secondary.
That's going to be huge, right? Because we have seen some explosive plays given up by the secondary. We saw Wilson go off for, I think, 9 or 10 catches, it seemed like, against the Cardinals. So I think getting Lewis back is only going to not only help the secondary in terms of coverage, but he's got that presence too, man, where he kind of brings that intensity and that fire.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No, and I did think, though, his absence helped show us that that's one of the deeper positions on this team. Christian Braswell played pretty well last week. Monteric Brown's been pretty good. Obviously, they lost Travis Hunter as well, who by this point could have been a really large factor in that cornerback room. But, this is a team that has had injuries, Austin, but most of the key guys that have been hurt, with the exception of Hunter, are expected back at some point, like Lewis today.
Yeah, and they're kind of guys that you kind of forget about a little bit too, right? They've had some success a little bit, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you're getting Lewis back. It's going to be an upgrade. And when Murray comes back too, I think just in terms of maybe having that playmaker a little more in that safety spot will be a huge difference.
And let's take a look at that injury report and game status report at the end of the week. A couple of guys popped up on there. Chuma Edoga is out this week with a calf injury. The kind of the sixth lineman right now for the Jaguars, unavailable today. Patrick McCary, the starting right guard with a concussion, did not practice all week. He is out. So probably Cole Van Lanen jumping in there at guard, most likely. We'll see what happens there today. Eric Murray still out with the window. We just heard from him. And Trayvon Walker is still out, defensive end with a knee issue. Players back today. Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver for the Jaguars. What does that do for the offense?
We'll see. All right. Honestly, that's unfortunately the kind of season that Brian Thomas has had, that, he's not the headline here, right? The fact that he's returning, this, based on what he did last year, you would think, oh my gosh, this is a big heralded opportunity for the Jags here. But we talked about it. Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, list them any order you want. They have the trust of Trevor Lawrence. I think Brian Thomas needs to kind of build that back up, Austin. And what I think he can do is, outside the hashes, he can stretch the field, and we'll see if they're able to dial up a few shots to him today.
That's what it has to all be about, right? Because if I'm game planning this Jaguars team right now, I'm trying to keep everything in front of me. I'm worried about the run game, and I'm worried about the short to intermediate passes. I think the Jaguars might have more wins than deep passes this year, it seems like, right? We haven't seen a lot of deep
Successful
passes.
ones, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Successful ones. So you hope Brian Thomas Jr. can come back now. You don't have to ask him to run across the middle anymore. Jacoby Myers has showed he can do that. And just line him up on the outside and let him use his speed to his advantage.
A couple other notables from the game status sheet this week. Anton Harrison, right tackle, is back. He will play today. Knee and ankle issues, was full all week long. Eric Armstead popped up on the injury report Thursday, limited. Practice full on Friday with a hand issue. We'll take a look at that once inactives come down today. There's some of the top sound of the week ahead of the Jaguars and the Titans. And cheer on the Jags today as the official away game watch party is at Chubby's in Fleming Island. Get down there and check out the Jags-Titans matchup today. Plenty to come on the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll hear from Pete Prisco of CBS Sports coming up. And Devin Lloyd, Jaguars linebacker, playing well early in the season, trying to get this Jaguars team down the stretch run and into the playoffs here in 2025. It's all ahead. Jaguars Titans at 1 o'clock. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Brought to you by FDOT.
Jags fans, this season make your game day even tastier with Al's Pizza in the stadium, and then you can enjoy even more with the Al's Pizza Pickoff promo after the game. When the Jaguars get 2 interceptions in one game, you'll score 50% off one pizza, any size you want, for 48 hours after the game. Just tell them you want the Jags Pick promo when you order. Up your game and your pizza with Al's at the stadium or any of their 5 locations.
A bold change. A historic development is underway for the Bold City, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and team partners are a part of it. Introducing First and Forward, a development partner program highlighting the significant contributions made toward the transformative efforts to the city of Jacksonville. Thank you, Belter, Brooks Building Solutions, Jackson Electric Supply, Office Images, Sims Crane, Start Tech, and People's Gas. Championing progress on the field and in the community. The First and Forward program. The First Coast Forward Together. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/forward together.
At GEHA, we stand behind our members because we were founded by members. So with 0 shareholders to mind, we keep our members in mind by offering a health plan for every stage of life. Plus, hearing and fitness discounts. At GEHA, one thing is clear. Your health isn't our business. It's our purpose. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. Visit GEHA.com to find your federal health plan.
Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Cheer on your Jaguars as they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans this Sunday at the official away game watch party at Mr. Chubby's Fleming Island. Indulge in the biggest and best wings in town with appearances by Jackson DeVille and The Roar. You'll even get the chance to win autographed items and game tickets, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow Jags fans. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues. JP Shadrick in for Brian Sexton. And hour number one, Mike Dempsey, Austen Lane alongside from the Hyundai Studios in Jacksonville. 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff time for the Jaguars and the Titans. Nissan Stadium, Nashville, the site. And apparently pretty cold. 38 degrees currently in Nashville. A high of 46 today. Winds gusting up to 20 miles an hour. No real precipitation in the forecast today. They might have a mixture a little later in the week, so at least no snow or anything like that today, but a gust of cold air in Middle Tennessee. A little bit later, we'll hear from the guys in the booth, and I'm sure they'll tell us all about that as well. Looking forward to seeing Cam Ward today, number 1 overall pick. It's been a rocky year. Head coach has been fired. His path to get where he is pretty remarkable. Incarnate Word, then went out on the West Coast, showed up in Miami for a year, led them to a great run, and the number 1 overall pick. But now, in a tough situation in Nashville in year number 1 for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, they don't have much in the way of weapons for him to throw to. You're talking about, talking with Taylor Zarzour this week, the voice of the Titans. He said Gunnar Helm, who's basically the backup tight end or the young rookie tight end, is developing into his number 1 target. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's supposed to be Calvin Ridley, and he's out for the season on IR. Alec Iomanner was brought in, thought to be a big, impactful rookie potentially. He's been up and down with injuries. Chim DK has been excellent in the return game. He's coming on as a receiver, but none of these guys are household names around the National Football League, so there's a lot of growing to do here.
Yeah, I agree. And, it's wild because, like many first picks of the draft, I feel like you see some glimpses where it's good. Like, it's really good. Where he makes throws that, like, a lot of elite quarterbacks, like, are making. That's about it. And then you see some mistakes as well. So you have a guy right now that is capable of being a star in this league. It's just right now he doesn't have the environment to try to cultivate that.
Jaguars Titans coming up at 1 o'clock today. Each week, Mike, you get a chance to visit with CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco.
All right, the lucky guy, yes. Starting off with Pete this week on a topic that we discussed already today. How did the Jags avoid a letdown coming off an overtime win and with the first-place Colts coming to town next week?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. It's going to be a challenge for him this week. In large part, you're playing consecutive road games. You won one late in overtime, and that can tax you a little bit. Now you got to go back out on the road again, and with that big game looming next week. So it's going to be a challenge to get back up again, and I think that's where Liam Cohn, as a coach, is going to have to really put on one of his better coaching performances, even though it's the Titans. It sounds crazy, but House of Horrors that's happened in Nashville over the years, A, and B, the situation is not great for them in large part because of all those things I just explained.
Well, and Pete, late in games, the Jags have shown resiliency, right? They've also had their failures late in games, but they're starting to believe, I think, that they can pull things out late in the contest. How far can that belief carry a team?
Well, it's good to have it, and it's good to see your quarterback do that after having, subpar performances at times during the regular part of the game. But he's made plays in overtime. He's made plays in the fourth quarter, and that's a good sign. But you never want to be in that situation on a continual basis. You want to try and beat teams, particularly if you're playing a team like the Titans. You want to put them away early, in large part because you don't want them to be able to hang around. And when a team like that hangs around, they start believing. So you got to start putting teams away like they did against the Chargers. Now, that was more of a one-off, but still, you want to try and do everything you can not to be in that situation.
And the Titans have hung around, Pete. The last 3 outings, they've lost all of them, but by a combined 16 points. So they've been competitive. Probably the best player on that roster is Jeffrey Simmons. How do the Jaguars try to get a handle on him today?
You mentioned it. I mean, he's clearly their best player, and at times has been dominant this year. And so you got to handle him. If you want to run the ball, you got to handle Jeffrey Simmons. And I thought the interior of the offensive line has had a couple really good weeks. I think Cleveland being back really impacts what they do up front. Hainsey's been good, and I think McCary, after a little lull for about 3 or 4 games, has really played strong in the last 3 games. So those guys, it's up to them. They got to be able to handle him. If you can block him, you're going to run the football, and I think that's the key to moving the ball on the ground this week against the Titans.
Yeah, and while Brenton Strange may not have a direct impact on Jeffrey Simmons, he impacts the running game and obviously the passing game as well with a career-best 93 yards. Led the Jags last week. Pete, just how much more comfortable should Trevor Lawrence be just having Strange as an outlet on the field?
Well, I think it's great. It's not, A, as an outlet, B, he can, create after the catch, and C, he's, obviously one of the best blocking tight ends in the league, and he gives them almost like an extra tackle when he's on the field. So missing him, they definitely did. And, Quentin Mars came in and did some good things as a blocker and probably should have had a touchdown the other day. So it gives them some flexibility with that position. But Strange, there's no doubt, has emerged as one of the top tight ends in the league.
Obviously, the Jags want to run the ball. All teams want to run the ball to some degree or another, but they've had success recently after starting the season great in that category. And we talked about controlling Jeffrey Simmons. A lot of that has to do with the pass rush, but slowing him down can be accomplished with the running game as well. Pete, do you think the Jags will have a good chance to get that going today?
I do. I think, that's their formula, is to run the ball and then, throw off of that run. They don't want to be a pass happy team. That's just not what they want to do. I mean, even when they had all their weapons healthy and Travis Hunter was on the field, the bottom line is they still want to run the football. That's what Liam Cohen wants to do. That's the identity of that team, and they've done a pretty good job with it in most of the games. And so, yeah, can they do it? I think they can today. I think, obviously, that's going to be the priority number one for Trevor Lawrence.
What have you seen from Titans rookie quarterback Cam Ward, and what does he do best at this stage of his NFL career?
He creates, out of structure. I think he does a good job of that. In fairness to him, he doesn't have a lot of weapons. The running game isn't great. The offensive line isn't, top notch. And so he's had to be doing some things on his own. He's getting better. He made some throws outside the pocket that you look at him and you go, wow, few guys can do that. But he does leave clean pockets at times. He has a tendency to get out quick. But he's getting better, and that's something to keep an eye on in this game as well.
Well, all that said, we understand the importance of this game for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we also understand Tennessee would love nothing more than to spoil the Jags' recent 2-game winning streak. Pete, so how do you see it going today?
Mike, I think this is one of those be careful games, and I think it's going to be close for a while. I really do. I think it's natural because of who they're playing, how it falls on the schedule, what's happening next week. But in the end, I think Jacksonville's a better team. I think they'll find a way to win it late.
I hope Pete's wrong in one regard. I hope it's a laugher today. I hope that they can kind of dictate the terms and they're up comfortably at the half and they can just run the ball in the second half and get out of there unscathed with injuries. But I have a sneaking suspicion Pete's right. This is a divisional game, rivalry game. I think that this is probably still a ball game in the fourth quarter.
I'm sure it's going to be. And this is what I'm looking for from this Jaguars team is can they not play down so much the competition, right? You talk about the Raiders game. Even the Cardinals game, and I get that the Cardinals, you like them on paper a little bit, but they should have, dominated that game, obviously with all the turnovers. So can this really be the first game, it feels like, this season, maybe from the Carolina game, but besides that, can this be the game this season where they just come out, dominate, and beat them by, 20 or so?
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
Just a comfortable...
Just like the Chargers. They did
yeah.
the LA Chargers.
But the Chargers, everyone's thinking they're going to, the Chargers are going to win.
The Chargers are the one team that lost to the Titans this year as well. So that, they're capable of winning that game. It's the NFL. You better expect your opponent to show up with bad intent.
PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jaguars, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. Devin, Lloyd back on the field the last couple weeks on defense. Brian Sexton caught up with the fourth-year linebacker this week in the locker room. It's a good spot for the Jaguars to be in on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, it's great to be playing meaningful games this late in the season. Obviously, our record is still in a place where we can control our own destiny. We got to just handle business, and that's exactly where you want to be. So we just got to keep going.
A year ago, this was a team that didn't win the close games, and it's flipped. What's the difference between last year and this year?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to executing in critical moments, guys being detailed in their assignments. Obviously, there's a collective belief that goes into it as well. But ultimately, it comes down to who's going to make the play. Are you going to make the play when it comes to you? And we've been doing that this year.
A couple weeks ago, there was some critique of the pass rush from the Texans game. It's gotten fixed, right? The last 2 weeks, he's done a lot of different things. How much are you enjoying playing for Anthony Campanile, his style, his creativity, and his ability to solve problems?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of good things all across the board. Letting guys, really just putting guys in a position to have success all across the board. And it's been fun so far. It's been fun.
I know you're not one to talk about yourself, but you're having a tremendous season. Did you see this coming? Did you visualize this in the offseason?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Honestly, I visualized a lot more, but at the same time, still doing a lot of good things for this team to help us win, and that's all you can ask for.
When you look around this locker room, there appears to be an energy, not just for the situation. I saw it even when you guys were in the middle of that losing skid. There's an energy around this team. Where does that come from? How do you build the sort of camaraderie and togetherness in a locker room? That's not easy.
Yeah, I think part of it is guys going out and having success together, enjoying playing with each other, and it's always fun when you win, whenever you have success and you win. So that's part of the energy. Guys have, a core group of guys have been together for a long time too. So I think, a lot of the core guys set the foundation and, they're leaders and they bring everybody else along. But it really just comes down to, winning. It's fun when you win. It's fun when, you're working hard and you get rewarded on game day.
I know you guys don't overlook anyone, but the fans see a 1-10 Titans team with a rookie quarterback and an interim head coach and say, well, that's a win. How do you guard against that sort of overconfidence as a player?
Yeah, I think you just you look at it from a realistic perspective, and we talked about it in our linebacker room. It's these guys are fighting for their lives. It's 100 grown men fighting for their lives. These jobs are on the line, careers are on the line, and so we know we're going to get their best shot. And if you take that lightly, that's when bad things happen. So it's you got to respect the game, you got to respect your opponent, and that's what we're doing.
How about this? We'll finish with the idea of the division. Now, you got 4 of your last 6 games inside the division. The league loves that kind of drama, but it does give you the opportunity to control your own destiny.
Absolutely, yeah. 7-4 right now. We're in a good position, not great position. So we got to control our own destiny. We got to handle our business, and that's exactly where we want to be. With just a little bit of pressure on us to have the right sense of urgency. Also knowing that if we handle our business, we'll be where we want to be.
The Jaguars linebacker Devin Lloyd with Brian Sexton this week. Lloyd with 37 tackles on the year, a sack and a half, 5 tackles for loss, 7 quarterback hits, 4 interceptions, and a fumble recovery as well. And he has missed a little bit of time, of course, this season. Was injured week 6, missed the next few weeks, came back in week 10, and he came back with a bang, 8 tackles in his first game back. Last time out, a sack and a half, 2 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits in last week's game.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think going into this season, there were some questions of if he was going to be the starter with Miller kind of on that depth chart as well. But make no mistake about it, when you talk about Devin Lloyd, this might be the best blitzing linebacker in the entire NFL right now. The guy plays with reckless abandonment, and obviously he plays with a speed and a tenacity that you haven't seen a lot, I feel like, in the Jaguars defense the past couple of years. So they're lucky to have him, and obviously him coming back after that injury was huge.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of frontline playmakers, right? Guys that are creating turnovers. With Trayvon Walker down, you got Josh Hines-Allen. Eric Armstead's had a good season getting to the quarterback, but Devin Lloyd was kind of the linchpin of all that turnover success they had early in the season, with 5 of them had a fumble recovery to go with those interceptions. So if he could get on a little roll in that department, those sacks certainly helped JP. The Jags could use some of those splash plays down the stretch.
Plenty ahead in about 15 minutes. Jeff Lageman and Bucky Brooks will join us in the booth in Nashville, Tennessee. Up next, we'll hear from Rick Ballou and running backs coach Chad Morton on what his group needs to do down the stretch. Jaguars Titans at 1 o'clock today in Nashville, Tennessee. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Game day means it's time to get loud, get proud, and get real. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Deep Eddy Vodka brings real flavor made with real ingredients to every tailgate, watch party, and post-game toast. Handcrafted in small batches in Austin, Texas, Deep Eddy Vodka is distilled 10 times and is made with purified Texas water, real fruit juice, and pure cane sugar. Wherever you're cheering on the Jaguars, make every moment a real one with Deep Eddy Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Please stay drink responsibly. Deep Eddy Vodka is a product of Deep Eddy Distilling Company, Austin, Texas. 35 to 40% alcohol by volume, distilled from corn.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car.
Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit ridesmartflorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Huddle up, My Gate Rewards members. Football is back. Celebrate with the Duval Meal Deal at Gate. Right now, grab a personal pizza and any 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.99. No matter what combo you choose, this meal's the perfect play. Happening now through January 5th, 2026. See store for details. A deal that's a victory for every fan. Gates got you.
At GEHA, we stand behind our members because we were founded by members. We're not focused on Wall Street. We're focused on Main Street. So we've built dental plans with 100% coverage for in-network preventive care, with access to a nationwide network of nearly 600,000 provider locations. GEHA is proud to offer dental plans exclusively for federal employees, federal retirees, and military retirees. Visit GEHA.com to learn more.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. JP Shadrick in for Brian Sexton in hour number one. Mike Dempsey, Austen Lane. We're at the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center. The Jaguars 7-4. The Titans 1-10. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff time at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, on the banks of the Cumberland River. And it's time for our weekly commentary from Rick Ballou.
Tennessee interim head coach Mike McCoy says he wants his rookie quarterback Cam Ward to run more. He's going to have to if Tennessee has a chance. The Jags have the best rushing defense in the NFL, and the Titans the worst rushing offense. The word out of Nashville is that the Titans are playing their best football of the season, losing their last 3 games by a combined 16 points. They even put up a season-high 24 last Sunday against Seattle. Still, it shouldn't matter. Tennessee is 0-6 at home, and the Jags have won 3 out of their last 4 on the road. The defense has been outstanding as of late. 23 sacks on the season, okay, but how about 9 in the last 2 weeks? They have overachieved if you consider who has been filling in. If I had said to you in early November that Danny Strigal, B.J. Green, Antonio Johnson, Danny Gardeck, and Christian Braswell would be major contributors, no one would believe that they have 7 wins. And what about Cole Van Lanen, who I expect to be the starting right guard today? In the last month, he's been the 3rd tackle in the jumbo package, started at left guard, right tackle, and now right guard. What an incredible accomplishment. Finally, Brian Thomas Jr. returns today, and where he fits in will be interesting. The deep ball has been missing in Jacksonville, and the offense could really use it. Will he be productive? Maybe. But his snap count and his targets will be a talking point this week. Jags by 10 today in the bad weather.
Catch Into the Night with Rick Ballou, weeknight 6 to 8 on 1010 XL. Now to the Jaguars running backs room. They've put together a strong season so far. Guys, obviously Travis Etienne Jr. doing it both ways with the running game and then the passing game as well. His scrimmage yard numbers continue to rise, and then the rookies have come in and played key roles in this running back room.
Yeah, but this has really been Etienne's room this year. I mean, Bajal Tutin's flashed, and LaQuint Allen has had a very specific role, primarily as a pass blocker on 3rd downs, Austin. But Etienne, I think, took the challenge of hearing about Tank Bigsby being a co-starter with him, which he was throughout the offseason, and then it was going to be Tutin taking over for him, and he said, no, I'm going to prove to you And, oh, by the way, I'm in a contract year. It's a good time to do it. And, the Jags are benefiting from a few guys in contract years, but ETN has been the guy to me in this running back room.
Without a doubt. And time will tell if the Jaguars choose to bring him back. Do you franchise tag him? I mean, that's a question for the end of the season. But where it fits right now, I feel like by a week-by-week basis, this guy's just making more and more money from a pretty volatile position. We don't have a lot of shelf life. He's going to extend, I think, his warranty a little longer and probably make some more money.
Let's hear from the guy in front of that room, the running backs coach, Chad Morton. Brian Sexton caught up with him this week for more on what makes this running back group tick.
I mean, I love what I do. I love being around these guys, It's just fun being with this group and just being out here and just try to get them going a little bit. And, if I want them to have energy and play hard, then I have to do it too. So I have to be, I have to show that, and they're picking up on it, and they're doing the same as what I'm doing. So I love it.
Listen, I know we're talking to a running backs coach today, but this team has embraced this almost run-first mentality. How did that come about? You got a franchise quarterback and a first-round pick at wide receiver. How long did it take for this team to embrace that?
I think pretty quick. I mean, Liam talked about being able to run the football here, and I think everybody embraced that, and they took on that challenge. And we know we can throw the ball, but, at the same time, we have to be able to run the ball against these guys and keep the defense off the field and be able to play action off of that. So, I mean, it just all goes together. So everything starts with a good foundation within the run game, and then just go from the pass from there on out and try to score a lot of points and try to win games.
And you have a run game coordinator here this year that we've never had one in Jacksonville. How does that work? We have offensive coordinator, offensive line coach, run game coordinator, running backs coach. How much collaboration goes into putting together a successful running game plan?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it just goes through all the coaches, but our guy starts it, Clee starts it, and then, it goes with the O-line coach and all the coordinators and position coaches. So it's just a collaborative process. I mean, it's working out well. We're doing well, and he's doing a hell of a job and putting the plan together and also detailing it up and presenting it. So things are working out really well.
There's so many layers to the Travis Etienne story. Coming off of a tough year in the fifth-year option, playing running back. But from the moment that I saw him at training camp, I said, that dude is motivated. Tell me about your introduction to him and what you've seen from him. I think he's having a tremendous season.
Yeah, it's been great. Ever since, just first meeting him, and then, through this whole offseason process and setting standards for him and goals that I had for him, he knows what's at stake, a new contract, all that, showing what he can do, from a down year the previous year. So just kind of making up for that. He's extremely talented, and just talking to him, having like this big heart-to-heart with him, and just understanding, looking at the past of where he was and where we need to get to, and he's embraced it, and he's just been doing extremely well, listening to exactly what the coaches want him to do, straining, running, working hard. That was basically the foundation of what we wanted him to do.
And I never thought of him as a tough runner, a between-the-tackles runner. I thought of him as sort of a breakaway, make you miss. But this year, he has the mentality of Jerome Bettis.
Yeah. What's funny? I kind of saw, we talked about that too. I just saw him as more of a downhill guy. I think he just runs so hard that he breaks a lot of tackles. I never saw him as he can make guys miss, but I never saw that as a break you down, shake you up, and then, accelerate. He's just keep running. He's got a little quick little twitch, can make you miss. But I wanted him to embrace that part of that run style that I saw of just getting downhill. He's probably stronger than a lot of people think he is. And then it's been working for him. He's been doing extremely well. Guys can't tackle him. And the times that, maybe he struggled a little bit is when he tries to do too much and not just run and attack. So that's just our whole mindset we've been working on from day one, and it's worked.
Tell me about the two rookies in the room and how you think he's led them and how you think they've pushed him.
He's a great leader. I'm extremely proud of him taking on that leadership role with those guys. He's not a big rah-rah guy, but I wanted him to lead with, by example. Love the two young guys. Great attitudes. Basho coming in, just scout work, just saw him a lot, just through the offseason, obviously through the draft and stuff, and just know how explosive he is. He runs hard, can break tackles, extremely tough runner for his size. You think a guy that stature, but can only run straight. No, he can break a lot of tackles. So, and then Q, we're just so blessed to have him. Just the way he protects on third down, does everything right. He's just sets the tone for the offense. So, I just couldn't be more pleased with those two.
The coach said 2 weeks ago he thought you were one of the best running back coaches he has ever seen. Listen, Right, you're going to get a lot of grief if other guys hear this. He said the same thing about Rich Angulo as a tight ends coach, and this staff appears to be a really talented staff. You haven't quite been together a year. What's the experience been like with a first-time head coach putting his staff together, and it appears like it's going well?
Yeah, unbelievable staff. I mean, all those guys, I think we just all work really well. We gel together. We lean on each other for stuff. They're all extremely smart. Liam obviously did an outstanding job of finding all those guys, and it's been working, and we just continue to grow, still continue to learn, to learn each other. Yeah, it's a blessing. It's really a blessing because I've been some places where it's not always like that, but here, all the guys are great. Defense, special teams, truly a blessing.
That's Chad Morton, Jaguars running backs coach. The full conversation with him and all our interviews today on the official Jaguars podcast network. We know about Etienne's rushing ability, but since 2022, he's second in the league in receiving yards among running backs in the AFC. So been a threat in that passing game as well, getting out wide and an option for Trevor Lawrence in the pass game.
Yeah, you love those easy completions, and you love it when a guy breaks one for 60 and it goes on your passing stats as well as a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they all look good in the box scores. So, yeah, I mean, if they can run the ball, get a little going in the passing game. We talked about the three guys that Trevor Lawrence is relying on right now as receivers and tight ends. I think they've got enough weapons to win as many games as they need to down the stretch.
And this is what Liam Cohen loves too, right? He loves using that motion, trying to get the mismatches and everything, and nothing is more of a mismatch than Travis Etienne on a linebacker. So you've been seeing that exploited a lot and expect to see that going forward as well.
Bashal Tootin battling through an ankle issue and just continues to run out there and showing that physicality between the tackles. Coming out of the draft, it's like, oh, this guy can run a 4.3.
Yeah.
Oh, and you forget, he can run between the tackles, too. We're seeing that part. We haven't seen the real breakaway speed yet.
And then don't forget about Allen, too, as well. I mean, LaQuinn Allen is one of those guys where if you're going down a dark alley, he's the first-round draft pick right there. I mean, that guy plays with an attitude. He's not afraid of anybody, and that's the type of guy you guys want in the running back room.
And it goes back to training camp, too. We're like, who is this guy? This rookie running back is causing a ruckus on the practice field.
Yeah, I mean, 7th-round pick, you got to stand out somehow, right? He's not going to jump these guys immediately on the depth chart in terms of running opportunities, but he stood out as a physical presence, and it's nice to have that when Trevor Lawrence is under pressure. Guy will step up against a bigger player and give it to him.
This is a group that's had 200-yard rushing game in the opening game of the season. They were near 200 a couple weeks ago, and the running backs are part of that. That offensive line is a big key to open up those holes. They've had some moving parts, but for the most part this year, they've been able to, when they impose their will, kind of set the tone offensively.
Without a doubt. And, I had a old defensive line coach, Joe Cullen, and he always said, if you want to run the football or stop the run, it's all about attitude. No skill needed. And I think with Liam Cohen coming in here his first year, he's established an attitude on both sides of the football.
From the backyard to the beaches, the Ford F-150 with available Pro Power on board gives you the power of a mobile generator. Ford, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. See your local Ford dealer today. Coming up at 11 o'clock, hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll return, though, and head to Nashville, Tennessee. Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman and Bucky Brooks will join us from the booth in the Music City. The Jaguars and the Titans at 1 o'clock Eastern. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
At GEHA, we stand behind our members because we were founded by members. So with zero shareholders to mind, we keep our members in mind by offering a health plan for every stage of life. Plus, hearing and fitness discounts. At GEHA, one thing is clear. Your health isn't our business. It's our purpose. That's why we've been trusted by millions of federal employees and retirees across the country since 1937. Visit GEHA.com to find your federal health plan.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Big number 1 Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road.
Shop Big Number 1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big Number 1 Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Cheer on your Jaguars as they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans this Sunday at the official away game watch party at Mr. Chubby's Fleming Island. Indulge in the biggest and best wings in town with appearances by Jackson DeVille and The Roar. You'll even get the chance to win autographed items and game tickets, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow Jags fans. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game. Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Catch epic showdowns in Cincinnati and Denver. Turn up the heat in Phoenix and Las Vegas. Support your Jaguars in divisional clashes in Houston, Nashville, and Indianapolis. View real-time parking, security, and flight updates on flyjacks.com. Whether you stick with the play call or you need an audible, they'll be your teammate every step of the way. Book your nonstop flights today. Learn more at flyjacks.com.
Hey, I'm Logan Cook, punter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Driving distracted or stolen is dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everyone on the road around you. Ride with Do Not Disturb. That call, text, or social media message can wait. Choose your music before you turn on the ignition. Anytime your eyes are not on the road ahead, you're distracted, so pay attention. But remember, drive high equals DUI. Plan ahead, have a designated driver, keep a clear head to see clear ahead, and let's get everyone home safely.
Welcome back to the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick in for Brian Sexton. Wrapping up hour number one. Mike Dempsey and Austen Lane alongside in the Hyundai Studios of the Miller Electric Center. The Jaguars at 7-4. The Titans at 1-10. Kickoff 1 o'clock Eastern from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. And we head to the Heritage of North Florida broadcast booth on the banks of the Cumberland River. Jeff Lageman and Bucky Brooks standing by ahead of this AFC South matchup for the final 6 games of the season in the division. And it starts today in Nashville after Thanksgiving. Good morning, gentlemen. A little brisk in Nashville today, huh?
Yeah, good morning. And Bucky's got like Eskimo boots on, boys. I mean, he's got the cold weather. I mean,
I'm fully.
You wear them for hunting too, Bucky?
I'm fully prepared. Like I messed up one time and I learned my lesson. So the weather would not get me today.
Let's get to the Finding Solutions presented by UF Health, the proud healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, the Jags offensive line's had a few changes the last couple of weeks, some injuries. Right tackle's back in today. That's good news, but Patrick McCary is out with a concussion, and they're going up against Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. How do you find a solution for those two?
Well, I mean, you have the man up. They're really good up front. This is what the Titans always want to do. They want to beat you up at the line of scrimmage. Their best players are right on that front line, and so we got to man up. The best part of our team has been our ability to dominate the line of scrimmage in these wins and run the football. So you just got to hit the bully in the mouth at the point of attack.
Yeah, and give credit to Cole Van Lanen. I mean, look, this could be his third position, right, in 3 weeks. I mean, and the Jaguars haven't really missed a beat. I thought he's played really well. He's turned into a very valuable player for this offensive line. And it's amazing how much that James Gladstone and Liam Cohn have completely remade this offensive line from the last couple years to where they were at to where they are now, which is a strength of this football team. It's been impressive.
Hey, guys, last week the pass rush, I thought, exceeded expectations considering Trayvon Walker didn't play. Got a lot of pressure, a lot of sacks on Jacoby Brissett. Can they repeat that performance today?
Well, you know, the big question mark is that who is going to play and who's not going to play. I just saw Eric Armstead, you know, he was downgraded, I guess, or put up on the injury report with questionable, and he walked out on the field a minute ago, and he's got a club completely on left wrist and hand.
Wow.
So, you know, I don't know what that means. I mean, is he going to play? Is he good to go? I mean, he was out here kind of testing it with some of the medical personnel, or at least it kind of gave that impression. But, look, he's a big part of this Jaguars pass rush. He's been their most consistent pass rusher. He leads the Jaguars with 5.5 sacks. He's had a major turnaround from last year. And them missing Trayvon Walker already, Danny Strigo getting banged up last week. I mean, if Armstead doesn't go, guys, that's a big question mark.
It is a big question mark, but you got to trust some of the young guys to get on the field. B.J. Green and others being able to play. Gardeck showing up last week, being able to make some plays. The one thing that I believe in, these guys really have embraced the next man up thing. They're going to play the next guy on the depth chart. They're going to trust that they're going to go and do their job and meet the standard. And so I'm just going to buy in and believe that collectively we'll figure out a way to get this done.
Yeah, the one thing you got to do is that you got to eliminate the Titans' running game to just nothing.
Yes.
And because it's been nothing for them all year, and it's one of the reasons why that Cam Ward is the last-rated quarterback amongst qualified quarterbacks in the National Football League. And that's where the Jaguars have been best at as a defense, is the run defense. So if they do their job on first and second down and keep Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears kind of to the minimum, then I think the Jaguars, no matter who's playing, I think they got a great chance to disrupt the rhythm of the rookie Cam Ward.
Guys, speaking of doing your job, Brian Thomas Jr. Is back in the lineup. What is his job going to look like going forward now with Jakobi Meyers obviously maybe taking over some of his targets?
No, he's going to have to get in where he fits in. I think we have seen that this is an offense. We talked about the collective on defense, same thing on offense. When they operate as a team, they put guys that are dependable and reliable that can get to their spots and catch the ball when it's thrown. This offense works. And so he'll have an opportunity to get in there, to get into the rotation and do some things. But I don't think you change your approach. Because, look, the last 4 games, you've been scoring over 27 points each game. I don't think you change anything. He gets in there, he finds a way to get some touches, but we don't revamp the offense to make him the focal point.
Yeah, last 4 games averaging 30.25 points a game to what you're talking about there, Bucky. And look, I expect kind of something similar to what we saw with Brenton Strange last week.
Yeah.
You know, a little play here, but not going full speed, 100% of the snaps. I expect him to be a role player. I expect that Parker Washington and Jakobi Meyers are going to be the mainstays because they've earned that right.
100%.
And the reality is when Brian Thomas was on the field before, he had 7 drops. And the percentage of targets versus receptions is not very good. And so I think in some ways he's got to kind of earn his way back. But I will say this. What a great opportunity today that he's going to have when he's on the field, because the Tennessee Titans cornerbacks are garbage. I mean, seriously, they're not good. The safeties are good. Okay, the safeties are good.
But on the outside,
watching the film, Darrell Baker, Marcus Harris, the rookie, Michael Robinson, a rookie, Jalen Armour-Davis, who's already out with an Achilles, that they brought up 2 guys, 1 guy off practice squad. They claimed Kair Elam from the Cowboys off of waivers. That should tell you right there where they're at corner.
Used the G word on us this morning. Wow.
I mean, it's Titans week. Come on, man. Like, we full honesty, you know what it is.
Hey, let's go, man. Division game. And here's why, guys. Because you know what? You win this one. That game next week at home, that's a monster game.
We like big games.
You know, so let's go. Games. This game right here is needed.
Last week, Trevor Lawrence, 4 giveaways, a fumble lost, and 3 interceptions. But he also had 3 touchdowns, the full Trevor Lawrence experience. Is this ever going to settle out and improve? And is he ever going to get rid of all these giveaways?
Well, I mean, look, I think we have to go back and use the starting point from when Liam Cohen encouraged Trevor Lawrence to let it rip. When you encourage your quarterback to let it rip, that means you're going to have some 50-50 balls that go the other way because you're trying to find your boundaries. The one thing that I can tell you from being on the sideline, unlike previous games where he would kind of maybe get a little tentative and hesitate and hold it back, he kept swinging. So to me, it's a turning point because when you throw the ball to the other team 3 times and have another fumble, it's really easy to kind of pucker up and tighten up. But he kept going. So I am encouraged that he's eventually going to find his way, and we're going to see the best version of Trevor Lawrence down the stretch.
Yeah, after those giveaways last week, I mean, the throw to Jakobi and zero coverage, the throw to Parker Washington for the touchdown, the throw to Parker in OT. I mean, those were some money throws by Trevor Lawrence, and it's definitely frustrating because, look, the reality is that he leads the NFL with 14 giveaways this year. He's led the NFL since he's gotten into the league with 82 giveaways. You know, and those things are frustrating. But, you know, look, in crunch time, Trevor has been really good. 4 game-winning drives this year. Okay, 4 of them. And so from that standpoint, look, sometimes you got to take it and leave it. Right now, you'll take it because he's been leading them to victories.
Jeff Lageman, Bucky Brooks in chilly Nashville, Tennessee, ahead of the Jaguars and the Titans. Bundle up. We'll talk to you a little bit later, guys.
Thank you, boys.
All right.
Jeff and Bucky each week here on the Publix Tailgate Show. Up next, we have the second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show. Well, the top sound of the week and much more coming up, including Adam Archeletta of CBS Sports. Third straight week, his crew will call the game for the Jaguars on CBS. This time it's the Jaguars and the Titans. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff in Week 13. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Brought to you by FDOT.
The kick is up. It's good! Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub, online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Cheer on your Jaguars as they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans this Sunday at the official away game watch party at Mr. Chubby's Fleming Island. Indulge in the biggest and best wings in town with appearances by Jackson DeVille and The Roar. You'll even get the chance to win autographed items and game tickets, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow Jags fans. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Hey, fellow Floridians, it's Ben.
And Brianna Smith. We are foodies who love sharing recipes online.
And trying new cooking techniques on our new natural gas stove.
He loves his precise temperature control on the heat.
Yeah, I also love saving money and using less energy.
Oh, watch that flame.
So, who loves to be in control?
Now earn up to a $300 cashback rebate for installing a new energy-efficient natural gas range or stovetop. To learn more, go to peoplesgas.com/rebates.
RingCentral's AI receptionist uses voice AI to answer on the first ring, so you'll never miss a call again. In just a few minutes, you can personalize your own AI receptionist to answer questions, route calls, schedule appointments, and even send texts in multiple languages. Plus, it's easy to scale. Create unlimited AI receptionists across any phone system. It's all powered by one reliable platform for effortless AI communications. See for yourself at ringcentral.com. RingCentral, voice of your business.
Ride Now Beach Boulevard is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars football fires up your Sundays, and a Yamaha boat brings on-the-water thrills to get you through the other 6 days of the week. Check out the extensive Yamaha boat selection at Ride Now Beach Boulevard in Jacksonville or online at ridenowbeachboulevard.com. Their prices will not be beat. You and the Jaguars can both win this season. Just mention Jaguars at the time of your purchase. Go Jags!
It's hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Week 13, 2 hours away from the Jacksonville Jaguars, 7-4, and the Tennessee Titans, 1-10. Nissan Stadium, Nashville, the site. Kickoff time, 1 o'clock Eastern. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Austen Lane. We're at the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center in Jacksonville. And the Jaguars with 4 of the final 6 games of this season in the AFC South. 2 against Tennessee, 2 against Indy. The Jags are only 1 game back. Everything out in front for this football team. Absolutely.
No doubt about it. I mean, look, you would wish to be in this position based on where you were last year. They've nearly doubled their win total. They can do that today. We all looked at this schedule, and I think a lot of us had them struggling up to this point, but maybe getting on a hot streak to end the season, Austen. So I think they've outperformed a lot of expectations already, and they can still get on that hot streak and now improve their playoff seeding.
No, without a doubt. And you're playing a team, the Tennessee Titans, who's 1-10, but to me, this is like the Titans Super Bowl here, right? Because these two teams don't like each other. It's no surprise and everything. And I was talking to Jeff and Bucky. They alluded to that. Like, expect to get the best version of Tennessee Titans today just because this is all they have left to really play for, it seems like.
No doubt.
Game day weather brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Waterless in Nashville, currently 39 degrees, a high in the mid-40s today. And winds are gusting around 15 to 20 miles per hour, so the wind chill is in the high 20s in Nashville today. Certainly not here in Jacksonville. Feeling pretty good today here in Jacksonville, Florida. Here are some of today's top stories. We start with the Jags, yes, at 7-4, currently second place in the AFC South, sixth in the AFC playoff race. 4 divisional games left. Head coach Liam Cohen knows what's at stake moving ahead for his football team.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for us. This is why you play. This is, you get into these parts of the season. Everybody's nicked up. Everybody's a little bumped and bruised, but it comes down to taking advantage of these opportunities and making the most of them and having that heightened sense of urgency as we get into later November, December games, specifically as we get into these divisional ball games, that how important these are.
Liam Cohen really setting the tone each and every week for his team, first-year head coach. I think overall it's a very positive grade for the head coach so far.
How can it not be, right? I mean, your main job is just to win football games, and however you do that, maybe it doesn't look exactly the way you expected it to. Look at this year's draft, right? Travis Hunter out for the year. Caleb Ransaw never stepped foot on the field during the regular season. Wyatt Milam has not made an impact. You've gotten nothing high-end out of the front of your draft here. A couple of guys like De'Ami Brown haven't panned out, at least to what their expectations were. But he's made it work to this point, Austen. He's finding ways to win, and he's instilled a belief in this team that they're capable of overcoming adversity within a game or within a season.
Without a doubt. And to me, he's kind of passed the biggest test is when you go on that losing streak and when it doesn't look good, how does your team respond, right? And you saw it against the Texans, how that went down. You come back with the Chargers and you curb stomp them essentially. So to me, it's all about how you respond in those moments. I think Liam Cohen has showed that he's done a great job. And if it wasn't for like Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel, I think we're talking about maybe the coach of the year here in the NFL.
We'll see what happens down the stretch as well. Still a lot of important football ahead for this Jaguars team. If they can walk some teams down, that could also change too. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence had 4 giveaways last week, a fumble and 3 interceptions, but 3 touchdowns as well. He does continue to build chemistry with wide receiver Jacoby Myers, who had one of those scores last week. And the quarterback says they'll need that down the stretch.
It's come along quicker than I would have thought. Sometimes that takes time with different receivers to try to get that chemistry and the timing and all that stuff. And it's been pretty seamless with him. I think obviously his experience is really important. He's played a lot of football. He's kind of done it all as far as the different offenses, systems. He's played a lot of different positions. So him understanding different schemes and different concepts and what he's being asked to do also helps because he can get up to speed really fast and he communicates really well. So we talk a lot during practice to try to get more and more familiar just because you don't have the off-season reps and all that stuff banked, but it's been awesome.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers has been fantastic for Trevor Lawrence. Steady presence, 15 targets, 12 catches, just about 155 yards, and the touchdown last week. So, when Trevor Lawrence was at his best a few years ago, he had those reliable receivers, Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. Guys that you knew if it was close, they're going to catch the football. Didn't have that early in the season. Guys were dropping the football.
That's right. And I think probably all Trevor Lawrence wants for Christmas is a 3-year contract extension to be signed by Jacoby Myers, right? Look, wouldn't you? You invested in this guy. He has bought in. He has said all the right things, Austen, since coming here. But more importantly, he's played well. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great stocking stuffer, to say the least, if you can re-sign Jacoby Myers there. And listen, I think we've heard the verbiage and everything. Let it rip. And yeah, I get it means go out there and throw the football around and have fun with it. But I also think don't get in your own way. Don't overthink things. And I think when Trevor Lawrence has been at his best, it's when it's the game-winning drives. It's when the game's on the line. You can't really afford to think. You just got to go out there and react. And I think that's kind of been the Achilles heel this year of Trevor Lawrence is he gets in his head a little bit too much, and that's when the mistakes happen.
Don't think. It can only hurt the ball club, right?
Without a doubt.
The old say. Now, he has help with the tight end room as well. Brenton Strange was back in the lineup last week. 5 targets, 5 catches, career high 93 yards for the tight end, and a good rhythm early in that game, and hoping to carry that move ahead.
Yeah, I think rhythm's very important for offense. Rhythm, momentum, anything that you can do to keep moving the ball down the field. It was important for me because I feel like every time that I'm able to, just touch the ball early in the games, it just sets my mindset for the game to be aggressive, and that's in whatever I do, pass game, run game, whatever it is. So I'm just thankful that the coaches called it out and we executed it because, everybody's got to execute for one person to get the ball.
Big in the passing game, certainly, but we know his status in the run game as well. As a blocker, he can do all kind of things on that. Just off the side of the offensive line, he's almost like the extra lineman.
No, he really is, man. And I'm really curious, can he play defensive end as well, man, just with that mentality? Because this guy plays like he's on defense, man. Like, he takes it personally if he's got a defensive end on him. Like, he's going to blow him back. He's going to push him back 4 or 5 yards. And you don't see that a lot with tight ends in this league anymore.
No, he probably could, honestly, if he spent some time training at it. But it's, beyond that, it's just what it infects the rest of the team with, that attitude of physicality. We saw that block from Quentin Morris on Bud Dupree, and you would have thought that was a Brenton Strange highlight reel block right there. So hopefully some of that attitude, that willingness to take on contact and finish the play is rubbing off on the rest of this team.
Yeah, and Brenton Strange had that same exact block, I think, back in week 1 when they ran for 200
saying,
yards.
Right? I mean, he plasters guys.
Yeah, going from the right behind the offensive line and straight into a guy.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that split zone. And not every team can run that because you need athletic tight ends that aren't afraid to hit that one-on-one contact with defensive ends. And when you talk about Morris, you talk about Strange, they're not afraid of contact.
This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Austen Lane ahead of the Jaguars and the Titans. And moving now to the Jaguars defense. Linebacker Foye Oluokun surpassing 1,000 career tackles in last week's win, and it comes with plenty of perspective being in the league this long.
It was kind of full circle of watching Yale win their Ivy League championship. Like, that's the kind of environment I was playing not too long ago, and then just always taking the next step. I feel like always just trying to make my mark, just be consistent and be reliable for my teammates and stuff. And then, 8 years later, you look up and you have 1,000. And I remember looking back, like, even my 5th year, I was like, ooh, that might be an achievable thing for me. And I had no clue it would come up so fast. So really crazy. I have more to say about when I'm done playing, but in the moment, I just want to keep winning games, how we're doing here this year, being productive and playing my style of football that I like doing. Like, it's just a testament to me being around the ball, and it's kind of like validation that, I'm doing good things in this league for sure.
Foye Oluokun, the team leader in tackles by a long way, 90 total tackles on the season, has a sack, 5 for a loss, an interception, 8 passes defense. He's always around the ball. It's just what he is, and the leader in that room.
No, I mean, it's impressive, man. 1,000 career tackles. Like, I can't even fathom that. I mean, I was struggling getting up for seconds at Thanksgiving. I was getting a little stiff and had to stretch out a little bit, let alone 1,000 tackles. So props to him for doing that. And like we talked about in the first hour, this is he's the calming presence. He's getting guys lined up and everything in a pretty complicated defense sometimes from Coach Camp.
Yeah, he'll make a splash play every now and again, but Foye Oluokun to me is all about consistency and knowing what you get when he's out there, and you need players like that.
Down to the Jaguars secondary, Eric Murray's 21-day practice window open this week. The veteran safety not available for today's game, but what he expects when he does get back on the field.
Just doing the things I was doing before, making sure I detail every outcome that I can go through during the game, and now most importantly, making sure I'm in the right health to do that and be full speed.
So Eric Murray, one of those players out today for the Jaguars, 4 ruled out already at the end of the week. He and Trayvon Walker on the defensive line on the defensive side. And then on the offensive line, Patrick McCary, the right guard with a concussion, will not play. Chuma Edoga unavailable today with a calf injury, did not practice all week long. Some players back in the fold today include Brian Thomas Jr., of course, a wide receiver coming off an ankle injury, and the right tackle Anton Harrison will play full all week long with a knee and an ankle issue. Eric Armstead, question mark today. Hand injury. Jeff Lageman told us earlier that his hand's in a cast in the pregame warm-ups. So he's been one of the most effective defensive players this season for the Jaguars, and a game-time decision.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you a little nervous, right? I'm not sure what happened with Eric Armstead. Hopefully, it wasn't some kind of freak Thanksgiving, like turkey carving accident or something like that. Like, who knows, man? But this is a guy that has been really depended on in terms of getting after the quarterback in that interior pass rush. If you do lose him, now you're going to have to rely on Mason Smith, who is a guy that we haven't really talked about a lot this season, set aside from the preseason and everything. So if he's going to be down, it's going to be a big loss to the Jaguars.
Yeah, there's a reason we haven't talked about him. He hasn't really made a play, right? And so this would be a great opportunity. And, regardless, with Eric Armstead showing up in a club, even if he plays today, how effective can he be?
Yeah, it's we saw what happened to Trayvon Walker when he had his, right? I mean, the effectiveness just went down. And so we'll keep an eye on that. Moving ahead, of course, Jordan Lewis is back today. Jaguars veteran corner, and that should be a boon for the secondary as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Jordan Lewis to get back. Like I said before, I mean, this guy, he brings an attitude. He kind of brings like that secondary, just kind of, he's that presence where it's like, hey, follow me. I'm going to show you how we do this. And they're going to need to have him back. Not necessarily for this week against Tennessee, but you got the Colts coming up pretty soon who can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Speaking of the Colts, yes, that is next week, December 7th. The Jaguars return to the bank for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. More than a game, it's a statement. The Jags are back home. They'll turn up the heat in the iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff at 1 o'clock. Pack the bank and make it loud. Get your seats now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Divisional matchup, most likely for the division lead next week at the bank. Should be a good one. The Jaguars and the Titans coming up. We're closing in on inactives, a little over 15 minutes away. We will get those to you, including what the status of Eric Armstead is in today's matchup. Also, we'll look around the National Football League. That's next. And Adam Archeletta, the analyst for the NFL on CBS for the third consecutive week. We'll break down what the Jaguars need to do down the stretch. Kickoff at 1 o'clock for the Jaguars and Titans in Week 13. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hey, I'm Logan Cook, punter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Driving distracted or stolen is dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everyone on the road around you. Ride with Do Not Disturb. That call, text, or social media message can wait. Choose your music before you turn on the ignition. Anytime your eyes are not on the road ahead, you're distracted, so pay attention. But remember, drive high equals DUI. Plan ahead, have a designated driver, keep a clear head to see clear ahead, and let's get everyone home safely.
Is your organization ready to tackle its toughest challenges? For 3 decades, CSI Companies based in Jacksonville has been the trusted workforce partner for leading healthcare and technology providers nationwide. Whether finding the right talent for a specific job, advising on a strategic project, or offering seamless managed services, they tailor every solution to fit your needs. CSI brings trusted expertise and a people-first approach to your organization. Get the job done right. Together, we go further. Learn more at CSICompanies.com.
My husband, Steve, was diagnosed with prostate cancer. They only gave him months to live. That was years ago. Now, he's out there, under the tree. Nature photography is his thing. And apparently, so is catching poison ivy.
Oof, so itchy. UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
It's almost basketball season. North Florida basketball is right around the corner. Secure your seats inside UNF Arena for both men's and women's basketball for less than $20 a game. Visit UNFospreys.com/buy tickets now or call 904-620-BIRD today. Again, North Florida basketball is almost here. Secure your seats inside UNF Arena for both men's and women's basketball for less than $20 a game. Visit UNFospreys.com/buy tickets now or call 904-620-BIRD today. Swoop.
The stadium bathroom line. It's like TSA and the DMV merged in the waters of rush hour traffic, and you're in it.
No closer to the bathroom than you were 5 minutes ago. Just closer to, well, going to the bathroom. You know what actually takes a minute? Pre-ordering an Uber so no one drives impaired after the game. Take a minute, make a plan. Never drive impaired. Go to takeaminutenow.com. From Diageo, Mad, Uber, and the NFL. Please drink responsibly.
JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Austen Lane from the Hyundai Studios. The Publix Tailgate Show continues inside 2 hours until Week 13. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 7-4. The Tennessee Titans 1-10. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff time at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. First of two meetings with the Titans this season. 4 of the final 6 games in the AFC South for the Jaguars. All 6 in the AFC. Let's look around the NFL.
All right, JP, in addition to the Jags and Titans playing head-to-head, the other 2 AFC South teams will meet in Indianapolis today. The 6-5 Houston Texans facing the 8-3 Colts. It was reported earlier this week that Indy quarterback Daniel Jones is dealing with a cracked fibula. Head coach Shane Steichen refused to confirm the NFL Network report on the specifics of the injury, but did say that doctors are confident Jones cannot make it worse by playing. The Texans might be able to make it worse, however. The Texans have won 3 in a row, starting with their fourth quarter comeback versus the Jags a few weeks back, and they'll get starting quarterback C.J. Stroud back after that 3-game absence due to a concussion. Jacksonville enters today tied with wild card contenders Buffalo and the L.A. Chargers with a record of 7-4. The Chargers hosting the 2-9 Las Vegas Raiders. The Bills will be in Pittsburgh to take on the 6-5 Steelers. Pittsburgh quarterback Aaron Rodgers is said to be, quote, adamant about playing despite reportedly dealing with 3 different fractures in his left wrist. Rodgers does not appear on this week's injury report for the Steelers. Each of those games kicks off at 4:25 Eastern time today. Another quarterback out of action is second-year signal caller J.J. McCarthy of the Minnesota Vikings, who's had a mostly down first year as the starter there in Minnesota. Max Brosmer will get his first start of the season as the Vikings are in Seattle to take on Sam Darnold in the, I guess, Darnold revenge game would be the narrative there. Or is it the Vikings revenge game for the way Darnold played in the first round of the playoffs? Not sure. Philadelphia head coach Nick Sirianni told reporters that the club will, quote, evaluate everything following their 24-15 Black Friday defeat at the hands of the Chicago Bears, who, by the way, with a win, moved up currently to the number 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture. Sirianni also added that offensive coordinator Kevin Petullo will continue to call plays for Jalen Hurts and company moving forward. The defending champion Eagles have lost 2 in a row after an 8-2 start. In fact, they won 4 to open the season, lost 2. Then they won 4 and lost their last 2, so I guess they're due for a 4-game winning streak. And finally, former Detroit center Frank Ragnow had his attempt to unretire thwarted, and he tried to rejoin the Lions, but a physical revealed a grade 3 hamstring strain. The Lions lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving Day, and losing Amon-Ra St. Brown to an ankle sprain early in that contest. He's expected to miss 1 or 2 games.
There you have it. The look around the National Football League. Any surprises at this point now after Thanksgiving for you, Austin?
I'm just surprised that Daniel Jones is playing with a fractured leg, it sounds like. Because, I mean, I had one of those in Pop Warner football, and I was out for the season. And now my whole childhood kind of feels like a sham a little bit. If he's going to be playing,
you could have
gone.
I
had a great regimen of Flintstone vitamins and Capri Suns I would have just downed, and I would have got back out there, but the doctors pulled me out. So I'm going to have some conversations with those old guys out there.
You needed to get a second opinion, I guess.
I guess I should have, man. You know, I guess when you're in 5th grade, you don't really have the luxury of second opinions.
It's funny how that works, and we'll see the Colts next week. Yeah. So we'll see who's out there.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, I think there are a lot of surprises at this point in the season. Just mentioned Chicago's the number 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture. You look at Denver. I actually picked Denver to go to the Super Bowl this year, but it feels a little bit fraudulent. They've won 8 in a row, but you look at those scores, man, they are winning by like a field goal or less, it seems like, in most of those games. But they'll probably win tonight against Washington and continue their challenge to the Patriots. I mean, you get the Patriots and the Broncos at the top 2 seeds. You got Mahomes out of the playoffs if the playoffs started today. Lamar Jackson would be out of the playoffs if the playoffs started today. Detroit would be out of the playoffs if they started today. And you're seeing the effect of injuries and defections on the Philly and Detroit offensive lines at this point in the season.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately, the playoffs do not start today.
They don't, or we'd be in them.
A lot of football left to play. And Adam Archeletta is the analyst for the NFL on CBS again today. His crew now on their third consecutive Jaguars game. Last week in Arizona, as I caught up with him this week, they got the full Trevor Lawrence experience.
Yeah, we did, and it was interesting because there's just so many different highs and lows with that game. And, he came out, made some great throws to start the second half. Now, listen, one of them got tipped, and, you want to blame a quarterback for tip balls. Calais Campbell is 6'8". That one, it's hard to put on Trevor. And the other one he threw to Budda Baker, I thought that was an all-world play by Baker. It's really hard to fault Trevor. Maybe he stared it down, but that was really a great play. The one he got fooled, the other one to the linebacker, he got fooled on that coverage. But he's been aggressive. And when we talked to Liam Cohen before this last game, if you go back to that Charger game, Lawrence made some of his best throws over the middle. And he really felt that was where he excelled, and he was decisive, and he was confident. And you want your quarterback to be able to rip those throws. But listen, you were able to overcome 4 giveaways on the road and still win. Like Liam said, they're not going to apologize for that.
Yeah, can't apologize for winning results, that's for sure, especially in a place that hasn't had a lot of them over the recent history here. What about the running game and the dual threat ability of Travis Etienne? The scrimmage yard totals continue to go up for him. The run game was a little inconsistent. I mean, they got 140-something rushing yards last week, which is great. A lot of that was early, big chunk plays. However, I mean, Etienne, in a contract year, he's handling his business so far.
He is. Listen, this is the National Football League, so you're not going to come out and dominate a team like you did against the Chargers and expect that every single week. I mean, let's just be honest. It's not going to happen. But what you like about their run game, and this is what I appreciate about Liam Cohen, it's a priority in the way they teach it, in their commitment to it, in the way they're physical with it. To me, that's going to show up, and it's going to show up on tape, even though you didn't have that big day. Teams are going to have to know that when they come to play you, they're going to have to come and play that run. And they can't just sit their guys back, stay in nickel personnel, and think that they're going to be able to get off the field. As far as ETN goes, I really felt this. We had Jacksonville maybe the second or third game this year. And even early on, it seemed like a different ETN this year. It seemed like he was running with more purpose. Seemed like he was running with more authority. He got off to the hot start, cooled off a little bit. But, he's always been that guy that has big playability. He's got tremendous speed. But what he's showing, though, this year is that he has a different element to his game. I think when you look at it from a numbers perspective, yards after contact, he's always been 20s, 30s as far as compared to the other running backs in the league. He's in the top 10 right now as far as his yak ability. And so I really like the way he's running the football. He gives you a lot to handle and really has added that dimension to his game.
Adam Archeletta, NFL on CBS. Jaguars defense last week got after it without Trayvon Walker on the field in the pass rush game. They brought some extra heat at times, which they didn't really have to do the week before that, and which was a little different 2 weeks ago. But they got back to the blitz a little bit. So they've got guys contributing on defense that are a little deeper down the depth chart right now. They're banged up a little bit. That's got to be a good sign because most of these injuries on defense are not season-ending. They could have guys coming back.
It is. Listen, to me, elite defense, or top 5 defense, really top 10 defense, it really starts with your front. I mean, that's really that. If you don't have guys up front that can generate it, it's really hard to play high-end defense week in and week out. And I know the pass rush has been taking a little bit of criticism in the middle part of the season, but it is starting to heat up. Hines Allen, he didn't have high sack numbers, but he was consistently getting pressure. Eric Armstead has come alive. You get a guy now inside that could push the pocket. Even Hamilton, not getting as much pass rush, but his contribution in the run game. Trayvon and his dual threat ability to stop the run and rush the passer. That's really where it starts. And I really thought Campanelli, had a good game. He doesn't love to blitz, but his blitzes were very well timed in that game, really in some key areas. Devin Lloyd, I think we looked at it and probably didn't feature enough in that last game, but he hit the quarterback 5 times, was in on a number of sacks. He was flying around. He had Gardeck making his contribution. And so I just think that when you do have the 4 up front, you got a guy that is a game wrecker like Hines Allen. That's where it starts. And then it comes down to timing and calling the right call at the right time. And right now that pass rush, starting to remind you a little bit about the old Jacksonville days. I mean, it's been pretty good the last couple weeks.
That's Adam Archeletta, NFL on CBS. Easy with the Jacksonville stuff. That was a different level. We joked about that. The full conversation with Adam Archeletta on the official Jaguars podcast network. And, all right, Austen Lane.
Yeah.
Jaguars in Nashville, Tennessee today. Jags 7-4. The Titans 1-10. Give us your keys to a Jaguars victory in Music City.
I'm just going to say what I tell all my guys that I corner as amateurs for MMA. Just be you. Because that's all you have to be. It's going to be enough. Whether it's JP having to do a broadcast last night, getting an early morning, and then sharing his, Audible chocolate with us this morning, you just got to be you, right? GP, you're being you. Mike, you're being you. I'm being myself. The Jaguars just got to be themselves, right? That's running the football. That's stopping the run and playing smart complementary football. And if Trevor can limit the mistakes, obviously limit the turnovers, and they don't shoot themselves in the foot, and they just be themselves, the rest will take care of itself.
He had me at chocolate.
Yeah, what am
Audible
I sharing
chocolate,
with
man.
you?
Audible chocolate. It means you got a pretty solid voice, man. I'm trying to pay you a compliment.
Well, thanks. I don't know what that
Silky
means.
Audible chocolate, dude.
Oh,
You never heard that before?
No.
Yeah, well, now you have. Print T-shirts.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Let's see if the Jaguars can perform well in Nashville today and get the job done, setting up the big matchup next week. Austen, we'll talk to you tomorrow night for Jaguars Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Prisco.
Hopefully he has something nice to say tomorrow.
If they're 8-4, what can be bad? He'll find something.
Pete will find something. He always does, man.
He usually does.
Yeah.
Austen Lane out of here. Inactives are next. Kai Stevens, John Oehser joining us from the booth in Nashville as well. And we're an hour and a half from the 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff time for the Jaguars and the Titans in Week 13. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio. You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Cheer on your Jaguars as they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans this Sunday at the official away game watch party at Mr. Chubby's Fleming Island. Indulge in the biggest and best wings in town with appearances by Jackson DeVille and The Roar. You'll even get the chance to win autographed items and game tickets, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow Jags fans. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
It's here that a tiny newborn has the heart surgery needed to save her life. It's here that a first grader learns to speak clearly and confidently. It's here that a 12-year-old athlete builds the strength to run full speed again. It's here at Wolfson Children's Hospital that answers are found, courage is shown, and odds are beaten every day. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
Restaurant Orsay is a bustling French-American bistro focusing on classic French techniques with their chefs incorporating a traditional Southern influence. Celebrate life's special moments or just relax and enjoy their daily happy hour. Restaurant Orsay also offers full-service catering for any of your event needs. Restaurant Orsay, located in historic Avondale at 3630 Park Street. Visit www.restaurantorsay.com.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Brought to you by FDOT.
Ranked one of the nation's top universities, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from the Hyundai Studios. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. The Jaguars 7-4. The Titans 1-10. It's Week 13. Nissan Stadium, Nashville. Kickoff set at 1 o'clock Eastern Time today. The inactives are in for the Jacksonville Jaguars. A number of players will not go today, including wide receiver De'Ami Brown, inactive for the Jaguars today. Brian Thomas Jr. is active for the Jags today for the first time in a couple weeks after an ankle issue. Cody Schrader, running back, will not play today. Trayvon Walker with a knee issue, down again today. The defensive end is a no-go. Chuma Edoga, offensive lineman, is out. Yasir Abdullah, linebacker, will not play. Patrick McCary, the starting right guard in concussion protocol, did not practice this week. He is out today. Cole Van Lanen likely gets to start at right guard. Hunter Long was cleared to play after practice this week, but he's inactive. The tight end for the Jaguars. It's been a few weeks since he's been out there. Eric Armstead, defensive tackle, inactive today. Unable to go after the injury. He practiced on Wednesday, came up limited on Thursday, was full Friday in what is usually a lighter workout. Armstead, a no-go today. He is out for the Jaguars. Up from the practice squad today, Cameron Silman-Craig, the defensive back, and defensive lineman Matt Dickerson, the game day elevations from the practice squad.
All right, for Tennessee, they had a couple of offensive starters that were listed as questionable. Both are available today, Alec Iomanner and Chigakonkwo, their starting wide receiver and tight end, respectively. A couple of starters, at least on their two deep, that will not be suiting up include center Lloyd Cushenberry and cornerback Jalen Armour Davis. Other Titans who do not get a jersey today include wide receiver Mason Kinsey, pair of safeties in Jarek Reed and Kendall Brooks, guard Drew Moss, and defensive tackle Shai Tuttle.
Yeah, they need Okonkwo. He's a leading receiver, and their top two receivers are tight ends for this team.
Yeah, Gunnar Helm has been coming on and apparently has had a nice connection there. Okonkwo has always been a guy that has tremendous athleticism, and you feel like it's kind of like Kyle Pitts in the sense that if you could ever put it all together and become a high-volume guy with the explosiveness that he brings, he could be one of the best weapons at the position. But I don't know what it is that keeps him from being more consistent. Part of it has been injuries. He's been banged up.
Let's hope it's not today.
I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, don't need that anymore with tight ends. From the backyard to the beaches, the Ford F-150 with available Pro Power on board gives you the power of a mobile generator. Ford, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. See your local Ford dealer today. Let's head to Music City, USA, Nissan Stadium on the banks of the Cumberland River. A little chilly in central Tennessee today for the Jaguars and the Titans. Kainani Stevens, John Ozier standing by. Good morning.
Good morning. And not to take us off the rails too early, but JP, since you pointed it out, I believe on my calendar you told me it was going to be 55 degrees and sunny when we came to Nashville this year. I have a big calendar. I put all the games on at the beginning of the year when we get in there around training camp. And JP said, it'll be nice in Nashville this year because you guys are going early. And we got a nice little 30-degree football weather day. So thank you, JP.
Yeah, I was wrong. For the record.
Yeah, the specialists are specially warming up in knit caps. So that shows you how nippy it is up here.
Yeah, a little breezy today as well. We'll see what the weather does with that in that regard today in the kicking game, certainly. All right, this is a Jags team that's 7-4. It's a Titans team that is not 7-4. They're 1-10. Why is this different from on paper? On paper, it should be a Jaguars blowout, but is this team ready for that kind of game?
Well, that's the test today. I think it'll be a close game in the fourth quarter for a few reasons. It's division, it's on the road, all those things. And really, except for the Chargers and the Panthers game, this team hasn't shown that it can go on the road. Both of those were home. They haven't gone and gotten a comfortable win on the road. They haven't really shown that they're going to be up by double digits in the second half. I hope they are, but this is a prove-it game in that sense. Can they go take care of business? That's the storyline to me.
I think for me, in terms of, it's just a divisional game. I feel like anytime you think you're comfortable and it's a divisional opponent that knows you as well as they do in the Titans, there's always a chance there. Mike McCoy, obviously, with the Jaguars several years with the last regime, so he knows them well in terms of personnel. And I think, like John said, it's a big opportunity. Mostly I just look at it as an opportunity for the Jaguars to go out and get a win that shows they know where they are at this point. I don't want to see something like we saw against the Cardinals. I think this should be a comfortable win, and I think that's the next step in this.
Well, some of the young guys got the opportunity last week to rush the passer, and it was successful even in the absence of Trayvon Walker. But now the Jags' leading sacker joins Trayvon on the sidelines, Eric Armstead. Guys, can the Jags make up for the absence of both of those starters on the D-line?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's Armstead, even when he doesn't get sacks, he's been really consistent in getting pressure up the middle, which has helped the edge guys. Without that, Mason Smith needs to step up. He's capable of getting penetration. He's done it. He's not as consistent as Armstead. That's a big loss, especially with no Trayvon.
I will say Cam Ward's top three, one of the most top three sacked quarterbacks in the league. So when you look at that, you would think, hey, maybe if there are some injuries, give him an extra week to get healthy. We can kind of go with some of the younger guys. But this is, again, going to be a situation where you talk about a Mason Smith, or you talk about, what we saw from Danny Strigo in the first game, B.J. Green. The young guys are going to have to help keep it together in terms of a team effort. And obviously they're going to probably double Josh Hines-Allen, as they like to do, or figure out things against him, and without his buddy Trayvon out there. So it's going to be another case of trying to work together as a group. That's where we've seen the most success from them. So, I mean, hopefully in the long run this will pay off. You would like to think against a team like the Titans you could have success either way, but maybe use this as a building block game.
Kanani Stevens, John Oehser joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, ahead of the Jaguars-Titans matchup. Brian Thomas Jr. back on the field today after missing a couple weeks with an ankle issue. But Jakobi Meyers has been trending well. There's 3 weeks in the lineup. I think he's missed only 3 targets in his time with the Jaguars so far. Parker Washington stepping in and making some clutch plays. Where does Brian Thomas Jr. fit in this offensive equation now?
He's got to show it. I mean, he has to earn it. I don't necessarily think he's going to be the focal point coming back. I think it's really intriguing, though. You've got, 6 games left. The offense, it's felt like Trevor Lawrence is gaining a lot of comfort with Parker Washington, Jakobi Meyers, and Brenton Strange. It feels like he trusts those guys. Can they add that special element that BT can bring? That could be a real X factor for this team. They haven't created explosives. Can you get there with it? It didn't show in the first 8 games when he played. But to me, Kai, that's a huge storyline. If he can give them that, this offense can go from being functional, which it has been, to being pretty explosive.
And we look at that on paper, you're like, what does he love to do the most? He loves to go get the deep ball. I mean, that's what he was most successful with at LSU. That's what this team has been lacking. If he can come in and play that role, that's going to be huge. Now, it can't be the only thing he does.
Right.
He needs to go out there and block well, because as we know, they're very committed to the run. If he can go out there, block well, so then it's not, it's a given they're doing this specific play because Brian Thomas Jr. is in the game, then that can be a huge weapon for them, because the one thing you're really lacking in the depth on offense is the explosive play. If you can get that and then also get him to buy in along with the blocking. And I think now that he's healthy, I don't think it ever lacked effort. It was just more of a health situation with him. So now that he's healthy, I think, and he can buy into the run game, I think that could be a great opportunity for him as well.
Guys, since 2000, teams that have a -4 turnover differential in a game are 1-50 in the NFL. That one came courtesy of the Jags win last week, and I asked that because I wonder, do you think the Titans are capable of beating the Jaguars straight up today if they don't win the turnover deficit?
I think that's really the key. I mean, last week, the Jaguars played for, 11 or 12 minutes like a team that was going to pull away from the Cardinals. They got the good drive early. They had possession back after a couple of stops, and then all of a sudden they gave them points. and then in the second half they gave away a touchdown. No. I think if the Jaguars win the turnover battle, I'm very confident they'll win the game, Kai.
Even with what we saw, what I was impressed with last week with the turnovers is the defense was playing so dominant. It didn't hurt them as much as it could have at certain points. So if the defense can come out and play as well as we've seen in the past 2 weeks, I think it could be another very dominant performance for them against this team, because the Titans have not really been able to get anything going offensively so far this season consistently. So for me, it's just the defense continuing to be that way. And I'd like to see the offense sharpen up. And obviously you don't want to see Trevor turning the ball over that much. So just playing clean football for them and not getting themselves behind the sticks again with the penalties. That could be problematic as well.
Kanani Stevens, John Ozier joining us from Nashville. We've talked about the turnovers and the injuries. What gives you the most confidence about this team down the stretch with 6 games to go, all in the conference, 4 in the division?
Oh, I think the fact that they're stopping the run well. I mean, that holds up and always gives you a chance defensively. Even if you're not great against the pass, if you're stopping the run, you're going to get opportunities to disrupt. And I think the fact that they have shown, I talked early about them not blowing a lot of teams out. But they've shown that they can perform in close games in pressure situations. It may be holding your breath, but I think this team will fight. I think it'll play 60 minutes, and that to me gives you a shot to win in December and January.
John, that's invaluable experience, because when you win in dominant fashion, you blow teams out, you don't know what your team's necessarily going to be like under pressure. Whether they should have been in those situations or not, they have been in a lot of games this season. And to see whether it's Cam Little with a really important kick in overtime last week, or the defense coming up big with stops when they need to. You've seen what they are able to do in a close matchup. If you get to the playoffs, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's not going to be a blowout win. It's going to be a close game. So knowing that your team's able to do that, I've just been so impressed with the run game this season. I can't say enough about it. Travis Etienne's my MVP on the offensive side of the football. The offensive line has blocked really well. Now with Brenton Strange back, I think they can open things up for more explosives, whether from Tootin or from Etienne. So for me, it's, and as the weather gets colder, you're going to want to be able to run the football. So stopping the run and establishing the run are 2 things I feel comfortable with on this team.
We'll take a win anywhere, but it's a little more special when it's in Nashville. If the Jags can get it done today. Bring one back, will you?
We'll do our best.
Guys, thanks.
Kai Stevens,
Thank
John
you, guys.
Ozier joining us from Nashville, Tennessee. Got plans for 2028. The Jags do. They'll be back better than ever, and the bank be among the first to experience the stadium of the future and cement your place in Jaguars history. Put your deposit down now. Visit jaguars.com/SOTF tickets and join the future of the Jaguars. We're inside 20 minutes away from Jaguars Radio Network coverage. Countdown to kickoff starts at noon Eastern. Up next, though, it's a fantasy forecast, and we'll hear from Frank Frangie in Nashville in the broadcast booth. The Jaguars and the Titans at 1 o'clock Eastern in Week 13. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Game day means it's time to get loud, get proud, and get real. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Deep Eddy Vodka brings real flavor made with real ingredients to every tailgate, watch party, and post-game toast. Handcrafted in small batches in Austin, Texas, Deep Eddy Vodka is distilled 10 times and is made with purified Texas water, real fruit juice, and pure cane sugar. Wherever you're cheering on the Jaguars, make every moment a real one with Deep Eddy Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Please stay drink responsibly. Deep Eddy Vodka is a product of Deep Eddy Distilling Company, Austin, Texas. 35 to 40% alcohol by volume, distilled from corn.
Longhorn. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Cheer on your Jaguars as they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans this Sunday at the official away game watch party at Mr. Chubby's Fleming Island. Indulge in the biggest and best wings in town with appearances by Jackson DeVille and The Roar. You'll even get the chance to win autographed items and game tickets, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow Jags fans. Mr. Chubby's Wings, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
What's Here is a place that generations have trusted to help their kids grow up healthy and strong. What's Here are caregivers with knowledge and expertise rivaling any children's hospital in the world. What's Here is the only Level 1 pediatric trauma center in our region. What's Here is Wolfson Children's Hospital with the technology, research, and dedication to save and change countless young lives. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
New job, new city, new you. Find your fresh start at Point Grand Apartments in Jacksonville and Brunswick. Step into a brand new 2-bedroom apartment with open layouts, sleek finishes, and space to make it your own. Enjoy resort-style pools with cabanas, 24-hour fitness centers, and pet-friendly perks that make every day easier. Live close to work, the coast, and everything you love without the stress. With 8 great locations and endless possibilities, your fresh start begins at pointgrand.com. That's pointgrand.com. Start fresh today.
This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from the Hyundai Studios, the Miller Electric Center, the Jacksonville Jaguars 7-4, the Tennessee Titans 1-10. Kickoff time 1 o'clock Eastern. Nissan Stadium, Nashville, Tennessee is the site today. We're inside 15 minutes away from countdown to kickoff on the Jaguars Radio Network, presented by the University of Florida, the #1 university in the U.S. News and World Report's #1 state for education. Time now, Mike Dempsey, for a fantasy forecast.
All right, JP. And obviously 4 games already having been played at this point. You kind of know where you stand heading into this Sunday of Week 13, whether you have a potentially big lead. A lot of the key players went off. Maybe you had Amon-Ra St. Brown go and get you 0. That's luck of the draw and injuries. So you kind of know where you are, so you know if you need to take bigger risks. And I think one of the biggest risks today is the San Francisco passing game as you look at their matchup with Cleveland. A, Cleveland's got an outstanding defense. B, I think they're going to have a kind of a rally around the rookie quarterback effect here in Week 2 as Shador Sanders won his debut last week. But you add to that the weather report in Cleveland today. Yeah, it's chilly in Nashville, but in Cleveland, 34 degrees at kickoff with precipitation, wind from 25 to 30 miles per hour, gusting to 50. So already tough to move the ball against that Browns defense, and I think it's going to be that much tougher today for Brock Purdy and company. Purdy did not play exceptionally well last week. I mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's believed to have suffered a low ankle sprain, that is. Still being evaluated. The Lions play only 1 game, though, in the next 16 days, so maybe he'll only miss 1 and be able to come back for the fantasy playoff stretch. In that San Fran-Cleveland game today, Eddie Pinheiro is out. Matt Gay will kick for the 49ers. Jerome Ford had been listed as questionable for Cleveland, but he will play today. Questionable whether he should be near any fantasy lineups as he's fallen to 3rd on the depth chart behind Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. And we move on to Houston and Indianapolis. Rookie tight end Tyler Warren added to the injury report as questionable with an illness yesterday for the Colts, but he is on the active list today. No other major skill position injuries of note in that one. C.J. Stroud returns. Of course, Davis Mills won 3 games in Stroud's absence as he missed games with a concussion. Stroud returns today against the first-place Colts. The Saints are at Miami today without Alvin Kamara. Devin Neal, maybe not exactly a plug-and-play option because we saw last week when Kamara went out of that game, Taysom Hill got a lot of carries, and that's the problem with having a Saints quarterback or running back. They oftentimes don't get the ball when Taysom Hill is healthy inside the 10-yard line, but Neal did catch 5 passes last week. If you need a flex-level running back in a pinch, he may be available on your waiver wire right now. Chris Olave was questionable to play. He is in for that game. Darren Waller was activated off IR yesterday, so he can return at tight end for the Dolphins today. Atlanta at the New York Jets. Drake London has been ruled out for the second consecutive week. We'll see if he's able to go in Week 14. Arizona at Tampa Bay. Trey Benson yet to be activated off of IR. Amari DiMarcado will not play today at running back. Bam Knight was questionable. He will go. He should split time in the backfield with Michael Carter. Marvin Harrison Jr. returns after a 2-week absence due to an appendectomy. Baker Mayfield and Bucky Irving were both questionable to go. They are both active today for the Bucs. Irving expected to start, but could be on a pitch count depending on how things go. The LA Rams and Carolina, no injuries of note there. Minnesota at Seattle. J.J. McCarthy will not play. Max Brosmer gets the first start of his career. Later this afternoon, Buffalo at Pittsburgh. Dalton Kincaid and Josh Palmer both questionable for the Bills. Curtis Samuel has already been ruled out. Vegas at the L.A. Chargers. Omarion Hampton, the rookie running back for the Chargers, revealed that he had a broken bone. That's what's been keeping him out. He has had his practice window open, but he will not return off of IR at least until next week. And then Denver and Washington on Sunday Night Football. No Jaden Daniels, no Noah Brown for the Commanders, but Terry McLaurin returns after about a month absence due to injury.
There you have it. Fantasy forecast in, 2 more weeks in the fantasy regular season?
It depends on your league, but most leagues play through Week 14 now with the 18-game schedule.
There you have it. Fantasy forecast. The Jaguars broadcast booth is presented by Heritage of North Florida, Jacksonville's premier roofing and remodeling company. We head back to Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Frank Franchi joining us from the booth. Temperature in the high 30s, will be in the mid-40s most of the day today. A little breezy there in Nashville. And Frank, let's start with it. I mean, the Titans stink. The Jaguars are 7-4, and they're trying to learn how to win some games like this. Is this Jaguars team ready for a stretch run with 6 in the conference and 4 in the division?
Yeah, I think so, JP. Good morning to you and Mike, and it is a chilly day here. I got that feels like at about 31. I don't know what's really the real temperature. The temperature or the feels like, JP? Which one should you believe? That's my question.
How tough are you, Frank? Is the question.
Not tough at all. Yeah. I'm the most non-cold weather tough, so it's a little chilly here today. But your point's a good one. The Jags are the better team. They're 7 wins in. They're obviously an eyelash from a few more wins. The Titans have the fewest wins in the league, so they're probably the worst team in the league. Can you come win the game you're supposed to win? That's your question. And yeah, I think they can. But we're going to learn that, aren't we? That's one thing you learn about your team is, can you go win when you're supposed to win? You can handle adversity, yes. Can you handle success? That's the question. And I think this game will tell us that. I think the Jags are going to win today. They've got the better team. But your question's a good one. That's a big part of the journey. No question about it.
Frank, they'll have to do it without their sack leader, Eric Armstead, who we heard from Jeff and Bucky earlier in the program this morning that he was out there with a club on his hand. So, we saw Trayvon Walker having to deal with that and wasn't 100% effective. Now we're without Trayvon for the second consecutive week. How big of a loss is Armstead today?
Big loss, Mike. I think it's a big loss. Now, look, you'd rather have it against a team that's not a great passing team. It's the worst, statistically, the worst offense in the league. So if it's going to happen, you'd rather have it happen in a game like this. But he's played really good football. He's a guy that it was a weird year for him, man. Mike, you think about it. The season didn't practice much in the offseason. We kept wondering why he's not on the field. He wasn't on the field much in training camp. And all of a sudden, he quietly's had a terrific year for the Jaguars. And this 32-year-old year. So it matters. Mason Smith has to step up. Some other guys have to play. Matt Dickerson, the rookie, is going to play some over there. But this is a big opportunity for Mason Smith now. This is an opportunity. He was drafted very high. You've been waiting on him and waiting on him. Well, now's the chance. Now's the chance. Mason Smith, from whom you had high expectations a year ago. It's taken a while. He had to get in shape. Wasn't in very good shape last year and way better shape this year. This is an opportunity for a second-year player about whom you really had high expectations to step up, and let's hope he does.
Frank Franchi with us. Speaking of high expectations, Brian Thomas Jr. is coming off a Pro Bowl last year in his rookie campaign, but he had some drops earlier in the season, ankle injury the last couple weeks. He's missed. He's back today. What will this offense feel like with him back in the lineup, considering all the changes since he's been out?
Yeah, boy, that's a great question, JP. My guess is they will work him back slowly. I don't think all of a sudden he shows up today and he leads the team in targets. That's just not my expectation. I think they found something with Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington in the middle of the field. And obviously you see how much they like the fact that Brenton Strange is back. So I think those three guys are the primary targets for the offense today and the passing game today, and really for the next few days moving forward. But De'Ami Brown's going to be down, so he's no factor anymore. You need somebody to stretch the field. My guess is Brian Thomas starts alongside those other two, Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington. you know what, JP, I wouldn't mind seeing the ball down the field to him a little bit. He's still your best field stretcher, and that's still a big part of any offense. And those crossers and those intermediate routes that Jacoby and Parker are so good at are more wide open if you can get the ball down the field some a little bit. So my guess is they ease Brian Thomas Jr. back into the offense, maybe throw a few deep balls and see where it goes.
Frank, if the Jags are going to have success running the ball today, does it have to be outside the tackles, considering Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat take up a lot of real estate?
Boy, they really do. And Simmons is so good, Mike. I mean, he's Liam Cohen stopped short of calling him Aaron Donald this week, but he almost did because he's almost playing at that kind of a level. He's a lightning quick three-technique guy, just like Aaron Donald was, as you know, Mike. He's a really good player. And, yeah, Sweat's 370 pounds, man. I mean, he's a big old guy. The other front guys, Sebastian Joseph Day's a big guy. So, yeah, probably. I do think you have to run the ball, though, if you're the Jags, Mike. That's who they are. That's their identity. They've made that very clear that when they're at the best, they're a running team. They're a play-action team. That's what makes Trevor Lawrence at his best. Travis Etienne's having a big year. So you got to run it. Will there be more runs outside? Perhaps. But the Jags aren't the Jags. This incarnation of the Jags, they're not the Jags unless they're running the football. So I think that's very important today.
Frank, have a great call and bring back a win, will you?
All right, JP and Mike. Thank you, guys.
Frank Frangie joining us from Nashville, Tennessee. Nissan Stadium, the site for Week 13. The Jaguars and the Titans up next. Jaguars Radio Network coverage. Countdown to kickoff. We'll hear from Fred Taylor. We'll get the final word before kickoff with Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen as well. 1 o'clock kickoff time for the Jaguars and Titans. Thanks for listening to the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix,